Happy Valentine's Day, Trent Hills. So did you get your chocolate yet? Welcome to Trent Hills today. My name is Susan and I'm your host. So it's that day that everybody looks forward to in some way, either because they are expecting chocolates, maybe a diamond ring for an engagement, or maybe just dinner out. Whatever you have planned for this day, I hope you have a wonderful day. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, and finally we feel like we're over the hump of winter. For those of you who haven't got the flowers or the chocolate, I know that there's a bunch of flowers in Sharps, or maybe not now, but there were the other day. And the other option is fabulous and very decadent and delicious and different chocolate at Centre and Main in Warkworth. You really have to go and visit them if you haven't. This raises chocolate to a completely different level. Pink chocolate, who would have thought? And the combination of flavors is amazing. So if you haven't been there, you can head down to Warkworth. They're in the old cookie store. And you'll find that the staff is really, really helpful, and they're ready to meet the demand of those people who have left things till the last minute. Well, it's not really the last minute, we still have time left. So, aside from it being Valentine's Day, what else is going on? Well, today is Wednesday, and for those of us who are involved with Probus, we have a meeting later on this morning. For those of you who aren't familiar with Probus, Probus is a group of people, usually over the age of 55, who meet the second Wednesday of every month at St. John's Church here in Campbellford. And basically what happens is there's the housekeeping stuff, like some jokes and some what are we doing and what are we going to do, what did we do. And then there's a break, and the women at St. John's Church do an amazing job of keeping us plied with coffee and treats and fruits. It's really quite a lovely spread that they put on. And then we have a guest speaker. So for those of you who haven't dropped in to see what we're all about, why don't you do it? Today might be a little bit short notice, but you can always come next month. Next month, Ted Barris will be there, and he'll be talking about The Great Escape. And that's being coupled with a movie later that day at the Aaron Theatre of The Great Escape. So for those of you who are either history buffs or movie buffs or just buffs, that might be something that could be of great interest to you. So remember, Probus in Campbellford, the second Wednesday of every month. The following month, April, me, myself, and I will be interviewing. I might be entertaining, but I'll certainly be interviewing John Russell, who is the CEO of the Campbellford Hospital Foundation. And you may want to come and hear what he has to say about our new hospital and how the hospital system and fundraising and all of that sort of works together, and what we can expect moving forward as we try to raise money for our new hospital. This weekend, aside from just being outside, let's hope that the weather holds because this is just amazing. West Bend has a couple of events going on. Ken Tizard will be doing a presentation Friday night. He'll be playing for you at I believe it's the Clock Tower. And on Sunday, they're having a house party, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but if you go to the West Bend website, you will see what's going on, and you will be able to decide whether you want to go Friday night or Sunday or both. I believe on Sunday there is a fee attached to it because there is music and food, and Friday night I just quickly checked the website, but you can go to West Bend and see what's going on. Again, as we move forward, we are looking at the Maple Syrup Festival in Warkworth. I had a friend over yesterday and we went for a long walk and came back, and I made pancakes and got to use some of our maple syrup, which, you know what, it's kind of neat. I'm not a huge fan of maple syrup. I don't put it on everything, and I don't put it in my coffee and my tea, but it's nice to know that we are capable of doing, well, they're not simple things, because last year it took us all day to boil down the maple syrup that we had. But there are many places in our communities that are available to go and check out. Curls maple syrup is one of them if you want to see how it's done. Everything will be ramping up come March. And again, that's very dependent on the weather. I know that it has to get cold at night, but not too cold, and then warm up to get the sap running. And it's kind of a neat experience to see the white sap come out, and then you boil it down and you boil it down, and you think, oh, what the heck's going on here? It's still white. It's, oh my gosh, it's getting a little golden color. Oh, look at that, it's really golden. And you go from having this much syrup down to, this much syrup. So that may also help you appreciate why maple syrup is the price it is. So those are some of the things that are coming up. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just so you know, in case you wanted to do some home renovations, the Village Paint Store, or Benjamin Moore, as some of us may know it, will be closed. And good for her. She's going to take a long weekend. Monday is a holiday. It's Family Day here in Ontario. And so they are going to be closed, and they are going to take a break. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. So if you are planning to do anything amazing this weekend, like paint or wallpaper, I would encourage you to get in there before the store closes. And you know what? It's important that we realize that, yes, making money is important. We all need to do it. There's no doubt about it. But you know what? Sometimes you just need to take a break. And we can't all escape to the tropics or to Florida or even to a ski resort, if that's what your choice is. Now that's another thing. If you want to go skiing, and we've had certainly enough snow that the conditions will be ideal, you may want to go online and see what's available and see what the conditions are, and to see if you can buy your tickets in advance and maybe make plans to get up to the hills a little earlier and maybe come home a little earlier. I know it's hard when you're away and you're having a great time to think about coming home, but then when you're sitting in the traffic coming down from Blue Mountain or wherever you've been skiing, and you're sitting there and the traffic isn't moving or there's been an accident, the joy that you've just experienced is instantly erased. So those are a couple of things that are going to be going on this weekend. Even if you don't have any plans to go away, just kicking back and putting your feet up, reading a book, getting caught up on all those things that you PVR'd. I know some of you have whole series to get caught up on. The Aaron Theatre has some movies on that you want. Don't forget to drop into the library. Pick out a book. They also have DVDs, in case you don't know, and we've been watching a couple of old series. I enjoy them, and you may be able to catch up on stuff that you've missed. Maybe you weren't old enough to watch the stuff when it first came out. So those are a couple of other things that you can do. Going for a walk. Why not just go for a walk? Ferris Park has walking trails that you can take advantage of. Even if you don't want to drive, I find it strange to drive to walk. I don't know about you, but of course I live in the country, and I can just go down to the end of my driveway and walk for kilometers if that suits me and if the weather is fine. You can also go to the Hastings Fieldhouse. They've got a whole list of things that are going on there. For those of you who might feel a little ambitious or feel that you've got to burn off some of that winter energy, aka a few extra Christmas pounds, there's pickleball. And I've been asked to try it out. I have yet to do it because, of course, it needs a whole new wardrobe. Well, probably not, but I think it needs a whole new wardrobe. That's why I took up golfing, is because I got to buy a whole new wardrobe. But pickleball requires a particular racket, you need indoor running shoes, and I guess you need some level of skill. Now that the weather is nicer and the drive to Hastings won't be as risky for someone like me who hates driving in the winter, I will definitely be trying it come March. So what else is going on in our wonderful community? I can't think of anything right now, but there are things that are going on, and don't forget to check out Trent Hills now. Sue is posting daily, and we're awaiting the arrival of the Trent Hills Tribune. And they have a Facebook page if you want to get in touch with them, if you want to contribute an article, or if you want to buy advertising. We all need support. I'm looking for people who want to support this program, or this television show, if you want to call it that. It's not really a television show, but let's go with that. On Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, I will be in attendance at the council meeting. I have been attending council meetings for the last year. I think it's important that as a citizen we show up every once in a while to let people know that we're paying attention, that we want to be kept apprised of what is going on in our community. One of the things that is on our agenda, or that the community is looking to do, is to put an EMS station. I believe it's phase 1. I don't know because I can't find, or I haven't been able to find, I'm not saying it's not out there, but I haven't been able to find the plans for the corner. For those of you who have lived in Campbellford for a long time, you will remember where the old Giant Tiger is. Well, that corner, right across from the dollar store, right near the TD Bank, the food bank, the bulk food stores, Antonia's, all of that is where they want to put the EMS station. And I believe it's the first part of the idea that they're going to put a fire hall there as well. I don't know the thinking behind it. I'm going to be attending all of the meetings to hear what the thought process is. I know everybody's excited about it, but really, given that we have stated that we are going to allow our snowbanks to reach 3 feet in height before they're cleared or melted, and given the age of our communities, and I'm not just talking about Campbellford. Campbellford, Warkworth, and Hastings have aging populations. We're aging every day, obviously, but our population is more proportionately over 50, 55, 60. Now, I don't consider myself to be, frail and fragile, but that doesn't mean that I won't get there. And that doesn't mean that I shouldn't consider those who are here and who have lived here a long time and who struggle to get around in the winter. One of the saddest things that can happen for a senior is to become isolated. It leads to poor health and dementia. And one of the reasons people don't go out in the winter is because they're afraid of tripping and falling. If you have a fracture when you're older, whether it's a hip and knee, wrist, your life changes. And if you don't have constant caregivers, if your kids live in other provinces, or even if they live in Toronto, you can have friends to look after you, but older people start to feel even older when they start becoming too dependent on people. We have a lot of people. I attend a coffee group, and one of the ladies is 90 years old, and she went out and bought herself a brand new red SUV. I mean, come on. Now that's positive thinking if you've ever heard it. So, getting back to the EMS station, and I don't want this to always be a rant, but I'm questioning the logic of its location. And is it because we think it'll increase our tax base, or is it because we just haven't given it a lot of thought? Our EMS people have to be contributors to the overall Northumberland service. And Northumberland is primarily on the other side of the canal, and it goes down to the south, not on this side to the north or the east or the west. It's on the other side, down towards the 401. So to have emergency vehicles zooming out of a station in really what is the heart of our community, currently they'd have to go by those businesses I stated. They'd make a left to go onto Bridge Street. On that street, we've got all of our popular businesses like Doer's Bakery, we've got the bookstore, we've got the movie theater. One has to question the thinking behind that. And once that building gets started, we won't be able to stop it. So, you know what? I know that sounds like a bit of a political rant, but I'm just asking the community to think about what's going on and get engaged, get involved, because this is our community. And even if you're in Hastings or Warkworth, you are part of Trent Hills. We are all part of this great community, and we have to start stepping up and being heard. And as a sad note to this, and not to take advantage of anybody else, but yesterday there was a death on our street, and I want to extend my condolences to the family. the resident, lived in Hastings, and I am really sorry for your loss, and I hope that you and your family will find peace going forward. So, now that we have finished up this episode, I hope you will continue to watch. I hope that the special person in your life has found a beautiful bouquet of flowers, if that's what will make you happy, or that they head down to Warkworth and bring you back something very special in the form of an amazing new chocolate. So until the next time, have a happy Valentine's Day, and we'll talk soon.